Ladies and gentlemen, it is rebuttal time. That's right. I found a video to rebut against. I know, I'm excited too. Isn't it awesome? I love this feeling. I found William Cordina. He asked the question, what is morally wrong with homosexuality? He said, do not quote the Bible, and he said post it in a video response. Of the 10 video responses that I saw, one stood out as the most intelligent, and a very unique argument was brought up in it. So, naturally, I wanted to dispute it, and this is my rebuttal against you, Christopher L. So in your video, you brought up three main arguments, and you had your sermon, and I understand that you're a follower of Christ. You feel it's your duty. I understand that. You had your sermon, which was in its own way heartfelt, even though you and me have vastly different opinions on the matter. I could tell that it was heartfelt, so I commend you for that as well. The first argument you brought up is that it's all about procreation. You said that the man and the woman were meant to go together and they were meant to procreate together through pleasure, and they make babies and all that, and procreation is the meaning to life, is pretty much how you put it. However, you say that I'm not allowed, in a response to you, to bring up infertile straight couples because that just clouds the issue. I want to know how that clouds the issue, because it is completely relevant to what you're saying. You're saying that basically sex without procreation is immoral. That is the basis of your argument. Even though you're saying it's between a man and a woman, it's meant for procreation. The basis of your argument is still that it's meant for procreation. It's not that the penis fits into the vagina, because we've already established that the penis also fits into the anus, and it results in pleasure. So the basis of your argument is procreation, because that is the one thing that doesn't happen in gay sex that does in straight sex. So to say that I'm not allowed to bring up infertile couples that can't procreate because of medical purposes is a double standard. These people obviously still engage in intercourse, and they don't procreate, which is what your argument is preaching. So that's my response to you. My response is that you have a double standard, because that is the only response that I can make, because in all honesty, homosexuality doesn't lead to reproduction. However, gays do adopt and raise children to be wonderful, wonderful people. So to say that procreation is everything is wrong. I don't believe that procreation is the meaning of life. I believe more that passing on your wisdom and raising children for the better is the meaning of life, not necessarily procreation. The second argument we brought up, this is where we get your eureka moment, your very, very unique argument. I had never heard this before. First off, as a Christian, you accepted the fact that homosexual love is love, and I commend you for that. Not many Christians do. Not many Christians admit that the love I may have for a man is, in fact, love. So, congrats to you. I really do appreciate that. It's like I'm talking to an actual, person. But you said that the love I may have for a companion of mine is the same love that an alcoholic may have for alcohol, a druggie may have for drugs, or a smoker may have for cigarettes. It's a very good argument, don't get me wrong, but when you take off the flashy surface, there's not much underneath. An alcoholic loves alcohol. This is true. While he may not love alcohol, he likes alcohol, he's addicted to it, he drinks alcohol. This alcohol is detrimental to his health, and detrimental to his relationships with the people close to him, around him, because when you are drunk, when you're an alcoholic, generally you are abusive to those that you love. It's unfortunate, and that's what makes the love for alcohol immoral. Same with drugs. Smoking inevitably leads to your death. While it doesn't directly lead to the harm of others through abuse, it does lead to the harm of others because secondhand smoke, which leads it to being immoral. and it harms yourself, of course, leads to your inevitable death. Unfortunately, my love for my companion will not lead to my inevitable death, and it is not detrimental to my health. Now, I know that you're saying, hold on, Scott, because your next argument was that homosexuality is detrimental to your health. The argument that you brought up was anal penetration. Now, before I rebut this argument, I'd like to point out that the argument is flawed to begin with, because bringing up anal penetration is saying, I'm only going to deal with you people and not you people, because lesbians engage in anal sex about as much as straight couples do. Anal sex is primarily a gay male thing. So to say anal penetration is a reason for it being morally wrong is to say, I'm only focused on you people. I don't even want to think about you people, I'm just focused on you people. So your argument is flawed. While I agree with you that anal sex done the wrong way can be hazardous to the anus itself, I would like to point out that anal sex done the right way with lubricant and with care isn't hazardous to the anus. You may dispute this, but it's a fact. Doctors may agree that anal sex can be hazardous to your health, but they also agree that there is a way for it to be done the right way. You can look it up, the studies are there. Now, what you didn't bring up, at least I don't believe you brought up, I don't think you brought up AIDS. I know you were thinking it. You didn't want to say it, but I know you were thinking it. Everybody does. So I'd like to bring up AIDS right now. AIDS, its highest rate of infection in gay males. It's true. Is it because anal sex is that hazardous to our health? No. It's because men are stupid. I'm not saying that it's only stupidity that leads to HIV positive, but generally it's the case. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody by this. It is an opinion, but generally the stories I hear is, he said he was negative, and I knew I was negative, so it was just a one-time sort of thing, and I got infected. I'm sorry, but that's stupidity. Always engage in protected sex, people. However, AIDS is also at a very, very high percentage in the straight community for the same reason: stupidity, unprotected sex. Women on birth control, I'm negative, you're negative too. Yay, let's do it. Stupidity. Stupidity is the main cause of the spread of AIDS. Lesbian sex is the safest sex you could possibly have when it comes to AIDS. It is the lowest infection rate you could possibly have. Lesbian sex. Now, it's understandable that your argument, that you didn't really focus in on the lesbians, because at the forefront of most of the debates on homosexuality is gay males, which is unfortunate, because lesbians are just as much a part of the gay community as gay men are. And, well, if you haven't noticed, lesbians are also my biggest tool in this rebuttal against you. Now, I'd like to make one last final point. While you avoided the Bible for most of your video, near the end you let one slip and you said that God called homosexuality an abomination in the Bible. It's true, homosexuality is called an abomination in the Bible. Now, I understand you're a believer of Christ. You may very well be a literalist. I'm making the assumption that you're a contextualist. And you don't really focus in on Exodus 35:2, which states that it's punishable to be put to death for working on the Sabbath day. I want to know why it is that you think homosexuality is such an abomination, according to the Bible, and then you don't focus in on the verses in Leviticus that state, well, shellfish and wearing two types of cloth. I want to know why it is you have this double standard in your own book of faith. So that's my rebuttal to you, Christopher. If you want to make a video response, by all means make a video response. I'd love to hear your rebuttal to this. See you guys later.